right. Hello, hello. Thank you for the intermission. So I've decided to go back to playing some Hakuoki Kyoto wins because it has been a very long time. Disclaimer, I have played through a good chunk of what's to come in this already on Twitch, but that was several months ago, and Twitch doesn't really hold on to videos for very long, so I have no access to them, but of course I wanted to make sure that you guys would be able to see what I've already done, so I've just decided to go ahead and completely play through it anyways. So I hope you guys are totally okay with that. Short second. I don't even remember what guy I was trying to date. I can't remember any of their names. Do this. There we go. Okay. And I'm not going to do any voices. I'm just going to read. You guys are going to hear me raw, unedited. I'm probably going to make a lot of mistakes. I usually do when I'm reading these things out on my own anyways, but then with the power of editing magic, you guys never really get to hear any of my mistakes. But now you will. So let's just go ahead. Also, yeah. Everything a lot closer to me. I have a whole lot of stuff on my desk right now because I've been playing Stardew and then building like a Lego amethyst house thing. It's from Steven Universe, and it's Steven's kitchen, but amethyst is in it. It's one of those like, it's like a Lego kit, but it's not Lego. I don't remember what it's called. Anyways, so let's go ahead. Water. We're good. All right. No news of my father came forth the other day, and somber restlessness took hold of me. Originally, it seemed Hijikata granted me approval to accompany the captain on their rounds through Kyoto to search for my dad. Then he called me in. Roshi, I love you very much, but not now, okay? I know you're very in a cuddly mood. My cat is in a very cuddly mood right now. No, not what I... No. I'm also trying to, like, set myself up so I can, like, watch the stream while I'm streaming. So that way if you guys are talking to me, I'll know. Yeah, okay. Right, I named myself Madison. Excuse me. I saw Okita and Haisuki had been summoned along with me, and I felt a partial sense of relief. It did a little to calm my chattering nerves, and I didn't want to be in a bad spot with Hijikata. You called me? Hijikata seemed to be in a foul mood, so I decided it was best to act with tact in his presence.
お前の行動さん探しの件だがな。しばらく様子を見ようと思う。
What? But why? We just started looking for him. Stopping now would surely cause any of our leads to run dry. His words stunned me. How could he back out on this? Hikata remained deeply composed.
長州の連中が不穏な動きを見せている。本来ならお前を外に出せる時期じゃない。
Sorry, just give me a second. I'm trying to figure something out right now. This is part of the process. Don't worry about it. All right. I'd heard how the warriors of the Chosu domain associate with the Imperial Nationalists Party. For some reason, they find foreigners repulsive, using brute force to prevent any foreign presence. All of their faith is aligned with the Emperor. The Shinsengumi, on the other hand, serve the Shogun, meaning they are directly opposed. If the Chosu is active, it could mean that my own goal is of little concern to the Shinsengumi. might become something of a burden to them. So, are you asking me to refrain from joining the rounds until things with the Chosu domain settle? Ichikata nodded and turned towards the two men.
というわけで、今日からこいつを巡察に連れて行くのは取りやめだ。
なるほどね。だから当番の俺らが呼ばれたってわけか。
Kaisuke seemed 2 steps behind Hichikata's words, until this very moment where it seemed to click.
でも今までだってこいつが巡察に迷惑をかけたこともないし、別にいいんじゃないかな。
Sorry about that. Bro, she get down from the. Hey! 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 You're gonna keep being a pain in my bottom. I'm gonna kick you out of the room, alright?
そうそう、僕たちに何かあっても関わらないようにしてくれればそれでいいし、どさくさに紛れて逃げ出すこともないしね。
I won't run. I knew he wasn't being serious, but I couldn't stand to keep my mouth shut. I made up my mind the minute the men of the Shinsengumi agreed to help me find my father. I made a vow to never run from the Shinsengumi for as long as they helped me find my father. My desire to find my father showed no signs of slowing, even since I first arrived in Kyoto. I will keep my vow. But please allow me to continue looking for my father. I bowed to Okita, keeping my eyes locked with his. His smirk, however, shrunk slowly as he gazed towards me, caught in between words to say.
危険を承知でついてくるって言うなら、僕の一番組に同行してくれて構わないよ。それに、行動さんらしい人を見たっていう証言もあるしね。
確かにそういう証言もある。だが、危険だと分かってるところに、ミスミス出すこともねえだろう。分かってるのか？お前らの足を引っ張りかねねえんだぞ。
I promise I won't cause any trouble, please. If I lose the opportunity to search for my father, then the chances of finding him will sink. Wanted to say shrink. I lied prostrate before him, and Hichikata simply sighed heavily.
市中を巡察する組長の指示には必ず従え。いいな。
Yes, of course. Thank you so much. I didn't know how else to show my gratitude, so I bowed deeply.
行くか行かないかはお前が好きに判断しろ。
All right. I had to make sure that this was the best decision. There was something in his demeanor that made me unsure of my desire to leave the compound. Still, if I was with Okita or Haisuki, I'm sure I'd be safe and well protected. On the other hand, my presence could be an undue burden to them. So we're gonna remain in the compound as I've done before. Because I'm going for, I think, dude with glasses who is crippled now or something. After contemplating, I decided to stay in. I couldn't convince myself that I wouldn't be a burden to them during dangerous situations. Still, it was disheartening to think about. Another dull day spent inside. Throughout the past 6 months, I was allowed to finally search for my father on the rounds, and I felt like a part of the house by contributing. Even though sometimes I was occupied with cleaning or cooking, it seemed like I was serving my part for the Shinsengumi in a meaningful way. I spent most of my time with the captains, but there were many opportunities to chat with the warriors and come to know them as real people. Maybe they were starting to think of me as a warrior in training rather than Hichikata's page. These worrying thoughts made me so anxious. I was turning numb. The idea that I had become so dependent on the Shinsengumi at this moment. What should I do today? I was resigned to the consequences of my decision. Something that felt like I wasn't wasting away the tender moments of my life in these headquarters. I was, in short, with nothing to do. Alright. I decided to enter the inner courtyard where maybe I could feel a pleasant breeze tingle on my face in the shade. quaintness may calm me down. Sorry, I'm looking for a thing. Damn it. Alas, no winds blew through the courtyard today. No reprieve from the harsh sun bearing down upon the dry emptiness. I had a feeling it was going to be a bad day. Shade was the best that I could hope for, it seemed. I sighed, sitting in whatever shade I could find. Something occurred to me as the sun roasted Kyoto. All right. Father's been here, hasn't he? They'd mentioned it, but they hadn't told me why. Was he tending to the injured? Or perhaps educating the Shinsengumi on how to avoid illness? Maybe he intended to stay here long term. My father never mentioned to have to be with the Shinsengumi. He'd visited only a few times, or so I'd been told. He'd really been their doctor. Then he would have visited far more often, which left me with the question, why? It was extremely clear to me that the Shinsengumi had plenty of secrets, but I grew suspicious that these secrets deeply implicated my father as well. That can't be right, can it? I shook my head, trying my best to dispel the dark thoughts taking shape.
何がまさかなんですか?
Ah, yes, this is the guy I'm trying to date. Ah! I spun around to find that Sanan had walked behind me, utterly undetected and unannounced. Oh, Sanan! Is it all right for you to be walking around?
私が寝たきりの病人か何かのような言い方はよしてください。何の問題もありませんよ。
There was a hint of coldness to his words.
もっとも、左腕は寝たきりですがね。
I couldn't bear to look at the sad, twisted smile he gave me. His arm hadn't healed, and it seemed certain now that it never would. The rest of the captains seemed sure that he would never be able to use his arm as he'd done before.
君こそ部屋を出ていていいんですか? 豚舎内を勝手に動き回られては困ります。
Yes, I know, I'm sorry. They usually let me walk around as I pleased, so long as I didn't go into anyone's rooms, but I knew that technically I was confined to my room. Any freedom given to me was simply a courtesy. In other words, Sanan was right. If he decided to chastise me for being in the courtyard, I had no reasonable response. There were some things that I wanted to think about. I hoped the courtyard would be breezy. The moment the words were out of my mouth, I realized they sounded far more like childish excuses than a valid explanation.
我々の監視から逃れて一人とは何か企んでいることでもあるみたいですよ。
Sorry. Still, I was beginning to grow accustomed to the subtle cruelty that seemed to accompany each word from Sanan's mouth. Alright, I'm gonna go back to my room then. I turned and began to walk away. Sanan's unpleasantness had started after he was wounded during his trip to Osaka. He spent most of his time locked in his room now, and he was quick to lash out on others in response. I knew the loss of his arm hurt him, more than I could understand, but I wished that he'd go back to being the warm, kind man he was originally. I turned around to see him still standing there. It's really hot out today. You should try and stay out of the sun. Please, take care of yourself. Gave him a nervous little laugh, and he responded with a chuckle of his own. His smile didn't look forced.
ありがとうございます。君も体調には気をつけてくださいね。
Okay. The Sanan I'd first met was still there. My spirits lifted, and I ran back to my room. It was later that evening that the compound exploded with activity. I was walking down the hall when I heard footsteps and turned to see Nagakura coming toward me. Nagakura? What's that for? He glanced down almost absently at his hands, holding a candle and an exceptionally long needle.
長州の患者を捕まえたんだけどよ、なかなか口を割らねえらしいんだ。土方さんが直々に相手をすることになったんだが、道具が足りないって言うから持ってくところよ。
I don't understand.
こういうことは分からねえ方が幸せだって。
Gave another bark of laughter, turned his back on me, and walked off. Oh dear, someone's gonna get tortured. As the sun began to set, the activity in the compound reached a fever pitch. It was so busy that I couldn't even help with making dinner. The commotion was overwhelming. Isaki! He shot past my door, then wheeled back around. What happened? All the men are running around. Any word from the Chosu prisoner?
ああ、あいつがようやく口を割ってさ。
Looks crazy.
今夜長州の奴らが会合するらしいんだ。で、俺らは討ち入り準備中ってわけ。
Oh. Aisuke went on to explain that the Shinsengumi would be splitting into two groups and searching locations at opposite ends of the city. Hondu would take 10 men to the Ikeda Inn, and Hijikata would take 24 to the Shikoku Inn.
土方さんたちの行く四国屋が当たりっぽいよ。俺は逆方向だから、ちょっと残念だな。
It sent more men with Hijikata because they thought that he'd be seeing action. Hondu and his men were to make sure they covered all their bases. You mean there aren't even 24 men ready? You mean there aren't even 40 men ready? Sorry.
ああ、肝心な時に暑さで腹を壊す奴らが多くて困ってるんだよ。
I'd known that the heat in close quarters made some men sick, but I hadn't known it was so many. Aisuke sighed.
会津藩や諸次第にも連絡入れたんだけど、動いてくれる気配がないんだよな。
Sounds like you got your work cut out for you. Unfortunately, there wasn't much I could offer him from apart from sympathy. I had a feeling it was going to be a difficult night. After all the men capable of fighting had left for their respective assignments, Sanan called for me.
もちろん名目上のことですが、私は局長から屯所の守護を仕切るよう仰せつかりました。
Sanan's passive-aggressive attitude reared its head.
手薄になった新選組の屯所が何者かに狙われないとも限りません。君は私の目が届く範囲にいてください。非常時には適宜私から指示を出します。
Okay. I hesitated a moment, then spoke. Does that mean you'll protect me? I wasn't sure why, but he laughed at that.
腹痛で寝込んでいる大使よりは私の方がまだ使い物になりますから。
Was I supposed to be happy? His smile was so sad. I wasn't sure what to say. It seemed to hurt him most when the other men were out fighting and all he could do was wait. Silence between us stretched out until the door to our room suddenly opened without a sound.
三男総長、奴らの会合場所が池田屋と判明いたしました。
The Ikeda Inn?
ああ、それは困りましたね。新選組は意外と賭け事に弱いのかもしれません。
His tone was light, but his face was serious and with good reason. They'd been certain Shikoku was the right location, and had sent only half as many men to Ikeda.
山崎君、一つ面倒を頼まれてくれますか。
The man whom he called Yamazaki nodded curtly. He is the Shinsengumi officer and spy, as well as a member of the Watch. Despite not living in the Yagi residence, he is aware of my situation.
まず、敵の所在は池田屋であると四国屋へ向かった土方君に伝えてください。そして大変お手数なのですが、その伝令にはその子も同行させてほしい。
Wait! Yamazaki seemed just as surprised. I paused before thinking about what's next. Yeah, we'll go. I'll go. Please, let me help you guys. If I really could help, then I wanted to. I'd lived with these men for almost half a year. They'd fed me, given me a roof over my head, and helped me look for my father.
なるほど。覚悟はいいようですね。
お言葉ですが総長、伝令であれば俺一人で事足ります。
Yamazaki's cold eyes slid over me for a moment as he spoke.
伝令に向かう途中、他の浪士に足止めされるかもしれません。それ以外にも長州側の遠兵が存在する可能性もあります。もし伝令の道中に敵と遭遇したのなら、土方君との合流も遅れてしまうでしょう。
Denon finished with the soft smile I hadn't seen him use for weeks.
さて、私の言いたいことはわかりますか？
はい。自分が長州遠兵の足止めを行い、最悪は彼女だけでも。
What? It sounded as if they were suggesting if things went badly, Yamazaki would sacrifice himself.
あ、もちろん山崎君が失敗するとは思っていませんよ。我々には人手が足りず、君には仕事が多い。会津藩や諸次第への連絡も担ってもらわねばなりませんから。
That would have Yamazaki running all across Kyoto. I suppose it really drove home just how thin the Shinsengumi were stretched. And there's no other person that could do this job. What about Shimida? Shimida is another Shinsengumi spy who is trusted enough with knowledge of my situation. Tanan shook his head. The Shinsengumi need every single member they can get, and Shimada was with the Shikoku team. Which means that apart from Yamazaki, I was the only one that could possibly serve as a messenger at the moment.
確か雪村君だったな。護身程度の術なら身につけていると聞いたが。
Yes, I do.
残念ながら君の安全は保証できない。それで構わないというのであれば。
If I tried to run away while we were out, I had no doubt that he would kill me without hesitation. This mission is his priority, not my life. Even so, I'll go. I can take care of myself. You don't need to worry about me. Tanan gave me a small smile. I knew he wanted to join the battle more than anyone, but we both knew that wasn't possible. The least I could do was carry out my mission.
では、総長命令、しかと承りました。
I'm just gonna grab me a pause. I'm gonna need to buy some more of these things. He bowed, then he stepped out of the room and turned to me.
全力で俺についてこい。
I took off after him, my legs working as hard as they could. Into the dark street we ran. I discovered quickly that half a year indoors did little for my physique, and I was out of shape. After only a few blocks, I was gasping for breath. Yamazaki, who was running ahead of me, suddenly stopped and looked sharply behind us.
何があってもこの通りを走り抜けろ。後ろを振り向く必要はない。
Don't tell me someone's behind us.
君は知らなくてもいい。
Seems like Yamazaki's hunch was right. What should I tell Yamazaki? Yamazaki, you should go. I'll stay behind. Yamazaki, please, you should go.
バカなことを言うな。君がここに残って何ができる？
If I distract the enemies, then you could go in the meantime.
引きつける役ならば俺がやる。君は走れ。
Yamazaki wasn't looking to take no for an answer, so I nodded in good faith. I looked to what lay ahead for me. As I stepped into the next intersection, I saw a flash of metal from the corner of my eye.
君は惑うな。じきに合流できる。白の大福を目指してこのまま走れ。
Right. I kept running. I pretended that I didn't hear the sounds of swords ringing against one another behind me and ran. My knees felt weak, and my legs shook, but I kept going. They'd have to collapse or tear themselves to pieces before I'd stop. Even so, I felt so slow. I wanted to cry out, to scream at my body to go faster, faster. A bright light suddenly cut through the darkness, and I placed my hand over my eyes from the glare. My heart stopped. Is it Chosu's soldiers? I froze.
何やってんだてめえは。
I very nearly began to cry with relief. Hijikata was not dressed in the usual light blue jacket, but rather a bright white uniform to be seen in dimly lit places. Instead, I collapsed as Harada reached out to grab me.
大丈夫か。勝手に豚書から出てると土方さんに怒られるぞ。
I grabbed hold of Harada's hand and pulled my body to its feet. I wanted to tell them I had permission to leave and explain it was all right for me to be there, but I was so winded I could barely speak. Besides, I wasn't sent to Hijikata to make excuses. I took as deep a breath as my shuttered lungs could manage before speaking. They're meeting at Ikeda. Suddenly Hijikata's expression changed.
本命はあっちか。
I nodded rapidly.
敵の会合場所は池。
Oh, sorry. Hijikata gestured toward me.
三男さんなら脱走を見過ごさねえ。つまり、こいつは早朝命令で豚書を出たってことだ。
よく俺らと合流できたな。今日の地理には詳しくないんだろ
Yeah, Yamazaki. I'd finally got some of my breath back, and I did my best to tell them what happened.
合図や諸次第はどうなった？もう池田屋に行ってるのか？
I just shook my head. Hijikata thought for a moment then spoke.
斎藤と原田は隊を率いて池田屋へ向かえ。俺はよそで別件を処理しておく。
Harada and Saito nodded curtly, then turned to their business.
あんたもこれ以上の単独行動は危険だ。俺たちか副長かどちらかに同行しろ。
I still lacked the breath to respond properly, so I simply nodded. We both knew that they couldn't leave me here, but whom should I accompany? We're gonna stay with Hijikata. The prospect of being alone with him was rather frightening, but for reasons I still don't understand, I decided to go with Hijikata. Well, we were quiet for a while. I felt like I should say something, but I wasn't sure what. Instead, I kept quiet. After a moment, he glanced down at me. What up?
伝令ご苦労だったな。俺たちが先手を打てるのはお前の手柄だ。
I never thought Hijikata of all people would praise me for anything. My heart fluttered momentarily in my chest. What did he mean by an advantage? If the battle at Ikeda Inn had begun, it didn't seem like we had much of an advantage at all. We stepped from the alley into the central avenue. Hijikata? Why are we out here on the street?
臆病風吹かすような連中は目立つことしか頭にねえって相場が決まってるんだよ。
I blinked, not sure what to make of that. Yamazaki appeared beside us without making a sound. Yamazaki, you're safe! He didn't seem to have been hurt at all, thank goodness. Yamazaki's eyes slid to me for a moment, then back to Hijikata.
池田屋の件はすでにお聞き及びかと思います。自分は会津藩と諸次第へも通達を行うよう三男総長より促されておりましたが。
だろうな。次の指示は追って出す。山崎はひとまず俺と一緒に来い。
承知。
腰の表役人どもへは新選組の副長が直々に挨拶しに行く。
Deep in his cold eyes, I saw a spark of anger. They appeared as the words came out of his mouth, lines of government soldiers marching toward us. There were hundreds of them marching across the entire width of the street, several rows deep. Now I understand why Hijikata took us out to the street. We would never have seen the government force as we shimmied through the back alleys. There was something about their march, so slow and unconcerned, that lit the fires of anger in my eyes. The rest of the men are still fighting at the inn. Shinsengumi had a few soldiers able to fight, but they were risking their lives for Kyoto. Didn't these men have the same responsibility? Why weren't they rushing to help us at the inn? Perhaps my anger was a bit more obvious than I realized because Hijikata gave a snort of laughter.
安心しろ。新選組を奴らのいいようにはさせねえ。
He stepped forward into the very middle of the street, directly in front of the advancing soldiers. All he did was move a few feet and turn to face them, but he held such authority in his movements. He could have easily been at the head of the army.
局長以下、我ら新選組一同、池田屋にて御用改めの最中である。一切の手出しは無用。池田屋には立ち入らないでもらおうか。
Even I could see the government men were going to protest Hijikata's proclamation when Yamazaki leaned over to whisper in my ear.
もし池田屋に立ち入ることを許せば、長州浪士制圧すら彼らの手柄とされるだろう。
What? How could they? After all the Shinsengumi had done, it just didn't seem fair. But it's the men of the Shinsengumi who are risking their lives.
それだけ我ら新選組は軽んじられているということだ。副長は今たった一人で新選組のために体を張っておられる。彼らが池田屋に踏み込むことを許せば、その突入したことだけを喧伝するだろう。実際に突入した新選組の武勇はなかったことにされかねない。だからこそ副長は会津藩の介入を封じようとしてくれているのだ。
Yamazaki held Hijikata in such high regard. So when Hijikata said that we have an advantage, this is what he was referring to.
しかし我々にも務めが。小せえ旅館に何十人も入るわけねえだろう。池田屋を取り囲むくらいが関の山だ。それとも乱戦に巻き込まれて死にてえというなら止めはしねえが、我が身が可愛いならおとなしくしとくんだな。
Ichikata's tone, as much as his words, left no room for argument. Until the battle ended, he stood his ground. Not a single man challenged him. Finally, the sun rose from the black sky. The raid itself had lasted only 2 hours. But for me, at least it had felt far longer. There had been 20 imperial nationalists at the Ikeda Inn. Shinsengumi had killed 7 Ronin and injured 4 more. I learned later that with the help of the Aizu domain and the Kyoto Judiciary Commissioner, they arrested 23 people. The owner of the Ikeda Inn had also been arrested for trying to help the Chosu rebels escape. The Shinsengumi had won an incredible victory, fighting against superior numbers in enemy territory, but they paid dearly for it. Okida had taken a blow to the chest and lost consciousness. Haisuke had been cut on the forehead, and the bleeding refused to stop. Nagakura had injured his left hand. One of the Shinsengumi soldiers lost his life at the inn's rear entrance, and 2 others were severely injured as well. It didn't seem likely that they would survive. Kyoto military and judiciary commissioners also fought the Chosu Ronin. With their successful resolution of the battle at the Ikeda Inn, Shinsengumi had, at last, made a name for themselves. It looked as though the peace in Kyoto had been protected. Never could I have imagined what the ultimate result of their victory would be. Yeah. End of July, 1864. Weeks passed since the battle of the Ikeda Inn. In the meantime, the Shinsengumi grew stricter during their rounds to arrest the numerous outlaw Ronin that escaped from the Ikeda Inn. Rumors surfaced of extremists who were plotting to exact revenge on the Shinsengumi. Additionally, there were also problems occurring with warriors spanning from other domains, making things tense around the headquarters. Things were finally settling down. As a result of my efforts during the battle, they grew more encouraging of my involvement. Shinsengumi allowed me to sweep the area in front of the headquarters on my own. One day, I was cleaning the courtyard with a broom when I heard gentle footsteps approaching me.
すみません。こちらが新選組の屯所ですか？
Oh, yes. This guy's handsome. The voice came from behind me, so I was caught off guard when answering.
君は
Huh? Hijikata showed up suddenly, as if he telepathically knew I was speaking to someone. Oh, Hijikata, this man is... Before I could finish my sentence, the man ran towards Hijikata.
あ、やっぱりトシさん、八郎です。お久しぶりです。
おめえは八郎か。なんだってこんなところにいるんだ。
When Hijikata realized who it was, his eyes grew wide.
驚きました？幕命で教視察に来てるんです。それより新選組って本当にトシさんたちのことだったんですね。この目で見るまでは信じられなかったけど、おめでとうございます。本当に侍になれたんですね。
おい、冷やかすなよ。まだ扱いは浪人と同じなんだからよ。
でも侍になりたいって夢が叶ったじゃないですか。
冷やかすなって言ってんだろ。
いいえ、江戸じゃ泣く子も黙る新選組といったらとても有名なんですよ。それに池田屋の話も聞いています。皆さんとてもご活躍だったみたいですね。
ま、ぼちぼちってところだ。
Cute. Aww. How very unlike himself. Hijikata seemed to be flustered and his cheeks were rosy. Judging from their conversation, it appeared that this gentleman had come to visit Hijikata. The rhythm of their rapport seemed to suggest that they had been friends for quite some time. Once I verified the conversation had come to a halt, I mustered the courage to speak to Hijikata. Hijikata, may I ask who this is?
そうか。お前は初めてだったな。
まだ名乗っていませんでしたね。僕、伊庭八郎と言います。幕府直参旗本で大番士奥詰役を務めています。
Oh, I'm Madison Yukimura.
改めてよろしくお願いします。
Oh, yes, nice to meet you too. Didn't we just give away that we're a chick? As soon as Iba and I finished our introductions, Hijikata was inclined to get us indoors.
まあ立ち話もなんだ。中に入ってくれ。
I took tea to the two in the hall. Hijikata told me to remain there, so I decided to listen in.
今日に来たのは奥詰めの仕事ってわけか。ずいぶんと出世したみてえだな。
And Okusume? Whoops! Oh no! There it is. I dropped my candy. I listened intently, but subtly, since I was unfamiliar with the contents of their conversation.
奥詰めってのはな、将軍の身辺を守る奴らのことだ。
Wow, I am honored to meet such a man.
いえいえ、そんなことありません。父の仕事の縁でたまたまなんです。
But what would bring a man of his stature here, Hichikata? This meant Iba was someone who worked directly with the Shogun. What an honor. It made no sense why he would interact with the Shinsengumi or why he had business with us.
お前の考えてることはわかるぜ。なんで俺と知り合いかってことだろう。
I did my best to nod without offending him.
こいつはな、旗本であると同時に、江戸じゃ4本指に入る道場の一つ、新行東流伊庭道場の跡取り息子だ。その伊庭道場と俺たちがいた道場とはそこそこ交流があってな。その縁だ。
ええ、そうなんです。だからトシさんたちがいる今日に来ることになってとても楽しみにしていたんです。
勝手に喜んでろ。だが覚えとけよ、今日はそんなに楽しいところじゃねえからな。
はい、肝に銘じておきます。でもそんなに危険なのに女の子でも大使が務まるんですか？
Iba glanced at me when he asked his question before looking to Hichikata. I gasped and cupped my hands over my mouth, and Hichikata's eyes darted toward me sternly. It would seem Iba picked up on the fact that I was female, judging by their interaction.
もしかして秘密だったんですか？
I didn't want to confirm any answer, so I stared towards the mat underneath without speaking.
こいつはちょいと訳ありで預かってて、表向きは男ってことになってる。新選組でも一部の奴らしか知らないことだ。だからここでも下手なことを口にしないでくれ。
わかりました。トシさんがそう言うなら守りますよ。
Iba drew Hijikata in closer in a jovial manner, and Hijikata blushed at the notion. Hijikata is normally really uptight, so seeing him behave this way is startling. I had a lingering suspicion that Hijikata was actually enjoying himself. All of the commotion must have alerted the captains because they popped up from nowhere.
おいおい、八郎じゃねえか。
聞いたことがある声だと思ったらお前だったのか。
新八さん、原田さん、それに皆さんもお久しぶりです。
そうか、お前も今日に来たのか。武者修行か、それとも狂犬物か。
なわけねえし、お偉いさんの護衛とか視察なんだろ。
まあ、はい、そういうところです。
あんたが今日に来るとなると、それなりの職務に就いたということか。
Iba nodded plainly in response.
ふーん、君も今日に来たんだ。ま、死なない程度に気をつけなよ。
助言ありがとう。覚えておきます。
じゃあ今度飲みに行くか。なんなら今からでもいいんだぜ。
Each of the captains surrounding Iba and exchanged words. Most of all, Iba seemed lost in the amount of fun he had while conversing with everyone. Yes, he really knew everyone back in Edo. Hijikata watched their interaction with warmth in his eyes and muttered,
あいつは旗本で伊庭道場の跡取り息子のくせに、何が気に入ったのか知らねえが、俺たちとつるみやがってな。
Seems no one can escape the amiable nature. No one can escape his amiable nature. He seems to be especially fond of Hichikata, though. But I couldn't dare say that.
まあちょっとした顔なじみだ。訪ねてきたら中に通してやってくれ。
Understood. Before we knew it, evening had come, and Iba told us that it was time for him to depart.
それじゃあまたね。
Okay. Faye seemed reluctant, not a little forlorn, and he left the compound. I stared at him as he walked into the distance, till the small figure was removed from my eyes. Iba was a mysterious person. Even if he was someone very important and upper class, he acted with integrity and kindness, commanding a lot of respect from captains of the Shinsengumi. Not think there was a samurai like him in the shogunate. August 1864. After the fight at the inn, I was able to leave the compound much more often. I suppose after what I'd done, Hijikata thought I earned a little more trust. I didn't feel like I did anything extraordinary, but I wasn't about to look a gift horse in the mouth. I was genuinely happy that a man, Hijikata, approved of me. On this particular day, I was out on patrol with Harada in the 10th Division. Excuse me, Harada. Shinsengumi is out patrolling day and night, right?
ああ、そうだぜ。それがどうかしたのか？
But what exactly is it that you do? Most of the men in the Shinsengumi were intimidating, death-dealing titans, but Harada was a rare exception, warm and friendly.
ま、ピンからキリまで大小様々だな。筋切りや追いはぎはもちろん、食い逃げも捕まえるし、喧嘩も止める。
People who don't pay for food?
商家を脅して金を奪おうとする奴らも、俺ら新選組が取り締まってるよ。
Wasn't really the answer I'd expected. I guess the Shinsengumi's job is closer to a magistrate's than I thought. Thinking back, I remembered how excited they were during the raid. What they did at the inn was far more intense than their day-to-day work. A little further down the road, a couple of men in Shinsengumi blues were waving at us. Nagakura! Guess our separate rounds brought us to the same spot.
よう、親父さんの情報、なんか手に入ったか？
No, nothing today.
なんかないかすんなって。今日がダメでも明日がある。そうだろ？
Yeah, you're right. There was something contagious about his optimism.
で、新八、そっちはどうだ？何か異常でもあったか？
いや、なんも。けど、やっぱり町人たちの様子がせわしねえな。
I hadn't noticed it before, but... right. They were acting strange. Almost nervous. Yeah, it looks like they're getting ready to move.
ああ、戦火に巻き込まれる前に今日から避難し始めてるってとこか。
What? War? There wasn't a war, was there?
そういや、まだ教えていなかったな。
池田屋の件で
Whoops. Oh,
長
I missed
州
it.
を怒らせちまったからな。
Here. Yes.
長州の奴らが今日に集まってきてんだよ。その関係で、俺らも警戒強化中ってわけだ。
池田屋の件で長州を怒らせちまったからな。
There we go, sorry about that.
あいつらの仲間から犠牲が出ちまったし、黙ってられないんだろうよ。
Were the Choshu, going to try something again?
さあな。まだはっきりしたことはわからねえ。
どっちにせよ、俺たちは俺たちの仕事をする。長州の連中が今日に来ても追い返すだけさ。
They accepted their situation and never complained. I had a good deal of respect for Harada and Nagakura.
長州と戦か。もしかすると近いうちに上から出動命令が出るかもしれねえな。
So you think the Aizu will give you all orders?
ああ、正式に幕府の一部隊として参加することになるかもな。
そんな機会めったにないからな。せっかくだからお前も出てみるか。
What? I was perplexed by a sudden invitation. Does this mean I could march as a member of the Shinsengumi? It seemed rather inappropriate for me to ask to participate just for the curiosity's sake. Still, very much hoped to be helpful in some way. Could I perhaps do something like what I'd done at the Ikeda Inn? However, there's also the chance that I become a hindrance as opposed to helping them out. I will stay behind. Stay behind. Ikeda seemed to possess a still heart, garnering a voice that was slow but at peace. He didn't respond to my words, but he smiled kindly. Part of me felt safer leaving, just to avoid being in anyone's way, but I also wanted to stay here, appreciating this moment of peace for once. Although, how could I justify participating when I wasn't a true member of the Shinsengumi? I bottled up my feelings of contemplation, and I just returned to the headquarters. A few days passed. Your medicine's ready. I was carrying medicine and some hot sake. The medicine was Ishida medicinal powder, which was manufactured by Hijikata's family.
宗司と平助に飲ませてやってくれ。それから三男さんにもだ。
Tannen's eyebrows rose at the mention of his name.
おや、私も飲むんですか？私の傷はもう塞がっていますよ。
試してみましょうよ、三男さん。この薬って何にでも効くらしいですから。
Tannen rolled his eyes, but reached over to take his portion of the medicine and sake. He had been telling the truth, though. His injuries had healed at least as much as they were going to. His arm still refused to work properly. It was slowly becoming clear that it would probably never work properly again.
石田三役は熱燗で飲むのが粋だよな。羨ましいぞ、お前ら。
羨ましいなら飲めばいいだろ。新八さんだって怪我人じゃねえか。
酒は飲みてえが、残念なことに俺の怪我はもう治っちまってるんだよな。
Nagakura was injured at the Ikeda Inn, but he recently declared that he was completely healed, despite the fact that his wounds still looked painful. I'd heard that he had convinced Hijikata that his wounds weren't as bad as Okida and Haiseki.
しかし、宗司と東堂君が怪我をするとはね。
あれは池田屋が暗かったから、普段の戦いなら遅れは取らないって。横合いから急に殴られたんだよ。おかげで鉢金なんて真っ二つだしさ。
拳で鉢金を割るか。随分と豪気な奴がいるもんだ。
Haiseki muttered something bitter and angry under his breath, but Harada just laughed.
あと、なんだっけ、掃除から逃げ切ったやつもいたしな。
Okida only smiled quietly as Nakakura gestured toward him.
次があれば、絶対に逃がしませんよ。次に勝つのは、僕ですから。
Everyone began sharing their experience at the inn. Kaito, however, remained silent. Is there something bothering you? I kept my voice low. So low. So as not to interrupt any of the other men in their conversations.
宗司らを負傷させるほどの実力者があの夜池田屋にいた理由を考えていた。長州のものではないと言ったそうだが、池田屋も人払いはしていたはずだ。池田屋の人間と老子たちの目を盗み、何らかの目的で侵入したか。目的は違えども行動を共にしていたのか。今確実にわかるのは奴らが相当の実力者だということだけだ。
The sliding doors suddenly flew open as Saito finished his sentence and Kondu appeared.
会津藩から伝令が届いた。
As all conversation ceased, eyes turned toward Kondu.
長州の襲撃に備え、我ら新選組も出陣するよう仰せだ。
A cheer went up from everyone present.
ついに来たか。待ちかねたぜ。
残念だったな、平助。 怪我人はさすがに不参加だよな。
でもせっかくの晴れ舞台だし。
He turned to Hijikata, clearly hoping that the commander might give him special leave to go.
不参加に決まってんだろ。おとなしく豚書で留守をしてやがれ。
土方さん、鬼！この鬼副長！
なんだそりゃ褒めてんのか。つまきにされたくなきゃ黙ってろ。
Hazuki's mouth snapped shut. I didn't think Hijikata would actually stab one of his own men, but neither did I think that he would go easy on any of them, even if they were injured.
東堂君、怪我人は足手まといらしいですから、素直に豚書で留守をしましょう。
仕方がねえか。わかった。今回は留守番してるよ。
僕も今回は諦めようかな。参加したいけど本調子じゃないし、ちょっと外で涼んでこようかな。
He sighed and got up to leave. I assume I'll be staying here as well? Kondo nodded.
ああ、宗司と平助がダダをこねんよう見張っておいてくれ。
He let out a short laugh and several men grinned. Before long, the Shinsengumi had left for the front, leaving only a handful of soldiers in the silent combat. So, what should I be doing when they're out? Oh, right. Kondo had asked me to keep an eye on Okida and Haisuki. I think Okida was in the inner courtyard. To be honest, I was a little concerned for him. He was still recovering, but being out in the cold air wasn't doing him any favors in that regard. So that left Haisuki and Sanan. Maybe they're still in the common room. Haisuki seemed particularly frustrated at being forced to stay behind, and Sanan had been even colder and more distant lately. I was worried for Okida, of course, but I felt there was something deeper affecting the other two. We're gonna go to the common room. I heard Haisuki and someone else talking as I walked down the hall. They were in the common room then.
俺も行きたかったな。別名あるまで豚書で待機とか退屈すぎだって。
深い傷ではありませんが、大事を取るのは当然でしょう。
It sounded as if Sanan was actually trying to cheer Haisuki up. How long it had been since I'd heard Sanan say something nice to someone. He was a very kind man once upon a time. I missed that Sanan.
そりゃ確かに怪我は怪我だし、豚書の留守も大事なのは分かってるけど。
君は傷さえ癒えれば、すぐに新選組の表舞台へ戻れますよ。それに比べて私には日陰者の道しか残されていないのですから。
それはなんていうか。
Very cute that you're distracting me. Plastic, okay? I will fight you. Boopies! An awkward silence fell over the room. It would have been rude for me to speak up, having left the inn unharmed on that fateful night. But if I pretended to enter for another matter, it would make it clear that I was eavesdropping. I had no choice then. I had to return to my room. As I turned to do so, Sanan's voice stopped me cold.
しかし、あの薬を使えば、私も再び剣を取ることができるかもしれません。
Treatment? What did he mean by that? Medicine? But he was already taking the Ishida powder. Unless he was talking about something else.
何考えてんだよ、三男さん。本気で羅刹になるとか言ってんの。
Haisuki shouted at Sanan. What was this conversation about? Something about this conversation seemed familiar. I heard them mention something like that around when I first arrived. We were eating dinner together, and we'd received the news of Sennon's injury.
薬でも何でも使ってもらうしかないですね。三男さんも納得してくれるんじゃないかな。
そうじ。めったなこと言うもんじゃねえ。幹部が羅刹になってどうするんだよ。
They'd mentioned the serum then too. Are they talking about that?
あれは結局失敗になったんだろ。だから宗司とはじめくんが殺すことになったし。
Okida and Saito had to kill them? That night was an experience I would never forget. But what did it have to do with this treatment?
確かにあの薬は未完成ですが、行動さんさえ見つかれば改良の余地はあります。
Father? What did Father have to do with this treatment? This was a great deal of information to take in. My mind was a hurricane of thoughts, suspicions, and fears trickling through the corners of my mind. Even as I struggled to make sense of what I'd just heard, I knew that I had stumbled onto something dangerous, something I shouldn't know. Suddenly, I wanted very much to be gone. Why did I stay and listen? I was such a fool.
申し訳ありませんが、今の話は他言無用でお願いしますね。
His cold, quiet voice filled the empty hall. Maybe the words that came out of Sannon's mouth were directed strictly at Haiseki. Haiseki responded with a furrowed brow.
いや、気持ちはわかるけどさ。俺は絶対に反対だから。
I helplessly felt like those words were directed towards me. I scurried from the area as I grasped my fast-beating heart. What if Sennon had suggested... If what Sennon had suggested really did happen? As silently as I could, I moved down the hall and away from the common room, back to the room I'd suddenly wished I'd never left. The Chosu extremists' attempted attack on the imperial estate eventually came to be known as the Hamaguri Rebellion. Although the Shinsengumi were called to action, their efforts were stymied, and they found little in the way of glory. Communication with their superiors was poor at best, and they spent much of the battle waiting for the reserves. When the Shinsengumi finally entered the battle, each man found several strange opponents awaiting for him. Nope. Hikage Kazuma, who defeated Okida at Ikeda, claimed to be from the Satsuma domain during his encounter with Chikara. Yuju Amagiri, the man who shattered Haiseki's head guard at Ikeda, also claimed membership in the Satsuma. They had also met Kyo Shiranui, who fought alongside men from Choshu. Whoever they were, it was clear they were not allies of the Shinsengumi. Indeed, it seemed they could easily become some of the greatest enemies. If they were to meet in open battle, the casualties would be severe. By the time the battle was over, the commanders of the Choshu attack had been killed in the fighting, or took their own lives. There were some soldiers, however, who escaped, setting Kyoto ablaze as they fled. By some terrible misfortune, winds that day blew forth from the north and fanned the flames, reducing the southern end of the imperial estate to ash. As a result of the Choshu attack, many imperial nationalists were executed. With the Hamaguri rebellion over, the Choshu were branded as traitors for attacking the estate. From then on, they were acknowledged enemies of the court. September 1860. Alright, I think this is where I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream because it's getting late and my throat is starting to hurt. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to see more videos from me, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching!